Oh, look at me. I look just right. And this is playing now. Oh, I look good. That's right. And you see my red shirts in the background right there, huh? Dry. I need to quit this country nonsense. Really. Ugh. There. You know, I got that from South Park. I really did. That damn little Cartman and his all, and then there was that episode where they got to see the family, and everybody in that house was like, well, if you go down round ya and round ya. So now I do it all the time. But here's the thing. Country colloquialisms come so easy to me. I mean, really. I hear it for a second, and it's in my brain and hardwired with me forever. So that makes me think maybe there is a past life, and I have an old soul, and it was one country soul, let me tell you. But at any rate, I'll make some efforts to not be so country this time. But, you know, I don't see why I should stop, I guess. I guess if I'm considering how genuine it is or not. I wonder to what degree this camera brings out how country I get. Point is, it's Father's Day. And I don't know what to say about Father's Day. I have a father, and he's fine. Probably could be healthier because he likes to eat. But we all like to eat. My mom would blame him for many, many things that went wrong in all our lives, and then she would blame herself. But honestly, I wouldn't blame them for anything I'm doing or not doing well. Well, not true. I would give them credit for things that I think are fine for me. But I wouldn't hold much against them. I don't see much need in blaming my parents for all my problems, even though I don't discount Freudian logic. It's true. You do find that a lot of the crap that happens in your life, that all the cycles that you go through that are bad habits and stuff, you actually do have a childhood source when you go back to it. Anybody who talks to a counselor, you'll find that out at some point. As much as people don't like Freud, he was on to something. And that's my plug for counselors. Therapy is great. Take it from me. If you're honest with that person, and you know, sometimes it takes a while to get a counselor that really works, because people are different, so you got to get one that's on your level, that really has insight for you. But when you find the right one and you're honest, they're just wonderful. But Father's Day, my father is fine. I suppose a small testimonial to him, or what do you call it when you talk on behalf of somebody? I don't know. He worked a lot. He's like one of the most addictive workers I could think of. I didn't pick up any of that from him. I'm as lazy as they come, and I don't help with the stereotype of black folks being lazy. He counters it. I don't. I'm one lazy sack of something. Late to work all the time. Everybody gets used to it. Don't like paperwork. Always procrastinate. But this isn't about me. Daddy, let's see here. He works a lot, and he tried to make me a man. You know, I don't think my parents are really that surprised I'm gay. But they act like it sometimes. Like, I never saw it coming. You saw it coming. I wasn't that manly. I got little pictures of me with my little hand like this. I really need to get that picture from my parents. Me on some ladder, and I turned around, and my hand's all limp wrist, which I do remember them slapping a lot when I was a kid. So I was always a little effeminate. Back to him. He did, the only time I ever really didn't like him was when I was in middle school, and he wanted this big "you gotta be a man" thing, where he gave me more responsibilities, which is relative. Like, I always had trash duty, and if there was anything unfair that I wanted to whine about compared to me and my sisters, he'd be like, well, I'm the man, so I have to be the man, and blah blah blah. And my older brother was long gone in college, so I was the man. And I wonder if he did that in response to me not being very manly. I do know once I ripped out in a bit of rage, and I'm not a rage-like person, and once again I'm talking about me, but so I had to do something in the lawn, and I hated yard work, something fierce, and I had to do something with some lawn something, and there was a hose that was like, you know, the hose goes up to a little spout thing that you turn on the water, and that was based on like a plastic pipe. And I ripped that fool right out the ground, too, with my brutish strength. That's one butch aspect to me, is I'm pretty fucking strong. And I pulled that bitch out the ground. And my mom was just like, boy, he must have been mad to rip up a pipe from the ground. So my father used to make me do all kinds of stuff, saying I had to be the man. That was the only time I really didn't like him. I may have even thought I hated him at the time, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And I don't blame him for it or any of that. I guess every father feels inclined to impart upon their children, especially their boys, some level of adulthood, and for men that would equal manhood. Which I guess he's alright. I'm pretty sure my mom would probably not entirely agree, but she would agree on some levels. He did provide. He made money for us, and we all lived off of his efforts and hard work. So he wasn't a perfect person. He did have one of those moments in his life, and our family was a before and after from this event. He made his mistakes. He's never been that intellectual, so I couldn't relate to him on any level. He wasn't intellectual much. He liked to fish. I hated that. My older brother loved it. He was kind of into football and watching that stuff on TV. I never cared for it. I played video games and read books about astronomy, and I kind of kept to myself in my family life. My mom would make efforts to actually pull me out of my shell and talk to me a lot. I could say I've kind of related to her a little bit, but after coming out, she and I, but it's not Mother's Day, so let me talk about her, and boy, that's a long talk. He's fine. He's a father. I don't fault him for much. If I fault my parents for anything, it would be for how they related to food. I relate to food the way they do. My mom uses it as a emotional thing. It makes her happy when she's unhappy, and I do the same thing. And my father is a glutton. If it's sweet or salty, he'll eat it up and eat many, many portions, and I do that shit too. So if I ever blame them for anything, it'd be, I wish I had been imparted better relationship with my food. Outside of that, everything else is water under the bridge, and I'm way too old after 30 years to be crying about my parents did this and that. It's perfectly fine to acknowledge that there is an origin point to any of my bad habits that may have started with childhood and may have gone back to them in some way. That's okay, but blaming them for it and using it as a crutch without the ability to grow past it is just useless. So I don't blame my parents or fault them for anything. I think I had a very good childhood, which makes me think maybe this is life's balance for me. You had a good childhood, now suffer as an adult, and then probably have a good older adulthood. I don't know. Whatever. Happy Father's Day if he ever gets around to seeing this, and boy, I'm going to hear it from my mom when she finds out about these videos, but I know I can't keep it from her, and I don't really care to. It's just, I ain't told him just yet. Happy Father's Day to every father out there, and to mine as well, who I did just call before doing this, and don't blame him too much, but, you know, don't give him the easy pass. We're all human, and without parents we wouldn't be here, so there you go. And that's that. Now I'm going to watch myself doing this. My favorite part. Ha! Bye-bye.